Welcome back, and you're watching Dukascopy TV. I have James Waterson from World Economics on the line to speak about the results of the Sales Managers Index for November, which show the shutdown will have a cooling effect on the fourth quarter GDP. So can you tell us more about this and market growth?
The shutdown obviously had a large impact on growth in October, and the SMI last month was the very first report on this. We showed a big drop in confidence and market growth. They fell by almost 10 percentage points. Now, in November, the data improved somewhat, but our panelists are definitely reporting what we're calling muted growth in all areas. For example, business confidence increased to 59.9, but that's well below the mid-60s we were seeing in the months prior to the shutdown. This shows that the US economy is clearly still fragile after the Great Recession, and the shutdowns had a significant impact on the speed of general market growth. Our index for market growth actually dropped slightly further in November to 53.5. This still represents significant growth, but the speed at which they are growing is dropping a lot. With regards to actual Q4 GDP, there have been estimates on the dollar loss of GDP, but they're quite wide-ranging, anything from 0.1 to 1%, and it's very difficult to give accurate numbers. But we genuinely believe there will be a noticeable impact on the Q4 GDP figures.
And business confidence has somewhat recovered, with the hope of the holiday season approaching. Now, do you think this year's holiday spending will see stronger results than last year?
Consumer spending and consumer confidence has definitely been cautious after the shutdown. It's a little early to make predictions about holiday season in the US, but except the shutdown, the economy has actually been in generally a good shape. Our panelists have quoted the approaching Thanksgiving and then the Black Friday and Christmas as all being good opportunities for sales, and they do expect things to be good this year. It's obviously a key time of year for retailers and businesses, but there is still a lot of white noise surrounding data after the shutdown. So I think predictions will be slightly later than usual to come this year.
And the government shutdown has had a marginal effect on recruitment. The index shows that despite the slowing market, sales managers are confident enough to expand payrolls at a fast pace.
The recruitment index shows that managers didn't expect the shutdown to turn into a full default, and I think that's very important. They were confident in not just keeping on existing staff, but also adding to payrolls during the shutdown. It's this important, obviously, because consumer spending is so vital to the economy, especially as we're approaching the Christmas. There was a minor setback, as would be expected. In October, during the shutdown, our index fell to 50.9. But what is really remarkable is if you look at the November figures compared to last year, because our index represents year-on-year change, the staffing figures are significantly higher. So it's not just seasonal staff, but a real expectation that businesses will have the need for more members of staff in the coming months. And I think that's very important to remember.
And finally, we have data coming out tomorrow. So what sort of figures are you expecting to see?
There's several indexes coming out tomorrow. We think there'll be generally a good trend. We're especially interested in the Philadelphia Business Outlook, but we also think the jobs figures that should be coming out will show across the board we're expecting small increases on trend with what's been going on the past few months, but they will be muted compared to what would be expected if the shutdown hadn't occurred. So whilst the economy is generally doing pretty well, considering the massive effect of the shutdown, we are expecting a drag effect on growth that could go into as far as the new year and maybe onwards after that.
James, thank you very much. Well, that is it for right now, but do stay tuned as we have plenty more coming up on the show today. See you soon.